Hello everyone, welcome back to some more thrift store finds, and this is going to be intense. Amanda and I were out yesterday and actually had some pretty good luck, and then this morning I went back to that new bins that I've been going to, the new outlet, and I literally filled my entire car. Back seat, yes, the passenger seat on my side up front, everything completely filled it. So this is crazy, an intense amount of stuff. And we'll start with yesterday's stuff to get through, and then I can't believe how much I left with this morning. And I'll have to tell you what I paid too, because it's incredible. I don't know what was going on today. So yesterday's stuff, first we found a collection of these Water Walker Ted Decker series. These were all in a bag together in pristine, basically new condition. So one or two of these, make all the money back from that. That was a good one. Then we have a vintage Sesame Street record, Having Fun with Ernie and Bert. That was an interesting find. And one thing that is a curiosity that I never knew existed, Video Now. I did a video talking a little bit about Video Now a long time ago. It is a terrible little personal video viewer, horrendous quality. It's worse than the Game Boy Advance video, but it was cool when that very first came out for a short window to play, especially a lot of Nickelodeon stuff that they had on there. And apparently for one of the versions of the Video Now players, you can see this Video Now color one on the back is the one that I have, a pink version of that. You could actually, with this, make your own videos on the computer and burn them onto a Video Now disc and play them on your Video Now. That's the weirdest thing. For that terrible quality format to have that is just bizarre. This Rocky and Bullwinkle complete first season DVD set. This is a really good set. We have this exact same one in our personal collection. This I knew immediately to pick up when I saw in the books. We have Out of My Trunk, Milton Berle's joke book. So a vintage joke book, Milton Berle. I knew immediately to pick that up. That was a great find. And actually one book for us that we're keeping, we have one of the Star Trek books that we don't have, Yesterday's Sun, in which they go back to the Guardian of Forever as it is threatened by Romulans, and an interesting story that I vaguely remember. I probably got this from the library as a kid or something, but definitely want to give that a read. And then the other big thing yesterday was, what was out here with that, it fallen down, for around $1 a piece. Most of them were $1 a piece, a couple were a little more, but basically $1 a piece. A giant stack of DVDs and Blu-rays, most of them sealed. The great kind of filler stuff that I love to have in huge numbers in the store. On Blu-ray, we have a Blu-ray DVD combo, a lot of combos actually. Shadowland, Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow, an anime, that's always good to find, G-Kids release. Doctor Who, we have Series 6, Part 2, so part of one of the seasons of Doctor Who. The Day of the Living Dead, Paranormal Activity 3, again another combo, the digital, so a lot of Blu-ray DVD combos, The Last Train, and a lot of these, when you find these brand new for $1, like dollar store type Blu-rays instead, that kind of thing. Finding my combos not as usual, at least around here it's usually not, and it's mostly just DVDs, rarely Blu-rays, but another combo. Then we have Ghost Team 1, Ill, Final Contagion. 2 copies of the combo of If She Screams, Beirut, Underdog. One that Amanda actually wants to check out, one to go in our watch pile, Luna. The slipcover, it's going to go in our watch pile. Speed Racer, the best of Speed Racer on DVD. And the complete 4th season of Hell on Wheels, AMC. Never heard of this series, but when I looked at the back, what the heck? I am a big fan of Star Trek, so we have Captain Pike and Chief Miles O'Brien in this Western TV series. Never heard of that one before, but that, it piqued my interest when I saw it. Enhanced on DVD. Haphazard. A 2-pack with Atomic Blonde and Lucy. Matador's Mistress. Mirror Mirror. Wolves. Seagull. Amanda was looking at the cover of that one. I don't know if she's going to want to watch that one or not first. This is just bizarre. The Nick and Jessica Variety Hour. When did this exist? the Nick and Jessica variety, or was it literally just like an hour and then that was it? I see Kermit the Frog's on here, Mr. T. I'm very confused because, yeah, Jessica Simpson and what was his Nick Lachey, was that his name, from 98 Degrees. I remember when they were together and they had that short-lived reality show, which was famously quoted endlessly if you're around at the time because of some of the stuff Jessica Simpson would say. Things like with the chicken of the sea is, you know, fish or chicken, with the tuna, stuff like that. It was just a stupid little pop culture moment. But when did this happen? Just bizarre. I had to, like, just out of curiosity, look that one up. It's like, why does that exist? And then we have The Adventures of Robin Hood, Volume 1, collection of one of the old TV series Robin Hoods. Nickelodeon's The Legend of Korra, Book 1, Air. Some more Doctor Who. And Poker Night. Then found 2 for our collection while we were there. One of the TV Guide spotlights. I really wish there was more of these. They made a decent amount, but I wish there was more of them, and I wish they covered more of a variety of decades. They're a cool idea, though. I have a couple of these. We have TV's Greatest Dads, and I have the TV's Greatest Moms set. And so, to go with it, one of these great Mill Creek releases, the TV Guide spotlights. This is the kind of thing I really like, because there are a lot of shows, especially from the 80s and 90s, but even a lot of 50s, 60s stuff, where I would like to occasionally throw an episode and reminisce into the lineup, but I would never really sit and watch a complete series, and a lot of them maybe not even a complete season. So I love these little collections where this is one episode of Bonanza, one episode of Ozzie and Harriet, one episode of Third Rock from the Sun, Cosby Show, Roseanne, Dick Van Dyke Show, Andy Griffith Show, Married with Children, that 70s show, and Different Strokes. So a good variety of those kind of sitcoms across several decades. I really like those. Those are really cool. And this is interesting. It's another Mill Creek release. We have Lucille Ball, the first lady of comedy. And it's a collection of movies that she was in, and only one of them I've ever actually seen before. Her Husband's Affairs. Then we have Miss Grant Takes Richmond, The Fuller Brush Girl, and The Magic Carpet. So that'll be fun to watch. As a huge fan of Lucy, particularly out of Lucy's show, but I really like a lot of stuff that she's been in, so that will be an interesting one to check out. And that was just yesterday, and that was the small haul. It was crazy. Alright, now for this morning. And here's where things get nuts. Because everything from here on out, this massive amount of stuff, I left for under $30. Under 30 bucks for everything. I couldn't believe it. And we'll get these few things out of the way just because they're kind of heavy, and then get to all the VHS and DVDs and all that stuff. But a bunch of really decent hardcover Princess Di books. So we have Diana, Princess of Wales, a tribute. Bunch of photos and things. Diana, Princess of Wales, a tribute in photographs. So a bunch of different photo books. I feel like someone had a collection of her stuff, because there's even a bunch more there that I didn't grab because they were just not worth grabbing. Because she's one of those celebrities. This thing is huge. The Unseen Archives of Diana. She's one of those celebrities that I feel like if you weren't around, you really don't get a picture of just how popular and prevalent she was in pop culture, particularly weirdly in the US. I really feel like a lot of times looking back that she was almost more of like there was something idealized, something of the princess concept, the kind of Disneyfied version of that was really, for some reason, in the US kind of placed upon her. It was really a weird thing. But yeah, tons of photos, and definitely worth grabbing. And then we have the People's Princess, Diana. So, bunch of ones, big heavy ones, and again, even by weight, I should have paid a lot more just for those, but it just keeps going. So we'll now get through the couple of stacks of DVDs and then all the other stuff. This is the time of year to be on the lookout for any kind of Christmas holiday related stuff. I don't care what it is, how cheap it is. Now's the time, right before Halloween, over the next couple months, to start putting it up. And so just about anything, if it's dirt cheap, I will grab with Christmas. We have Tyler Perry's Medea Christmas Movie, Office Christmas Party, Joseph of Nazareth, The Holiday. This isn't a bad movie, I've seen that one. We have Season 1, Volume 1 of Outlander. I seem to pick up this show, like volumes or seasons of it all the time for some reason. We have Rollerball, Unbroken, Unbelievable True Story, Tupac Shakur, Before I Wake. A 2-movie collection, we have Snow White and the Huntsman and The Huntsman Winter's War. I didn't even know there was a sequel to that. I actually saw the first one randomly in theaters. I don't even remember why I saw it in theaters, but I saw it in theaters. I never knew there was a sequel. So that. Then we have John Tucker Must Die, Goodfellas, a couple Blu-rays, Pitch Perfect, and Lion. Donnie Yen. This actually looks interesting. I actually might have to watch this one just to check it out. Fist of Fury with Donnie Yen. So I might have to check that out. What I consider to be the only Ocean's 11 that really matters, the original Ocean's 11. I mean, you just can't beat that cast and the whole series. What are those? Ocean's 11, 12, 13, what is there, 14 and 15? I don't even know. I only saw the first of the remake ones, but yeah, that's a great movie. Wreck-It Ralph. Then we have the Velveteen Rabbit Special Commemorative 2-Disc Edition. Family Feature Films Collection. CoverGirl with Rita Hayworth and Gene Kelly. That's a really good. I love the image of this cover. Just something about the angle and the red, and it looks really. It's just one of those covers that always stuck on my mind. Kind of like great poster look. The African Queen, another good movie. Outrageous Fortune. A Blu-ray of Kidnapping Mr. Heineken. Never heard of that one. Three Amigos, sealed DVD. That's a great classic comedy. Incredibles 2. Then we have a Blu-ray DVD combo of Disney's Spooky Buddies with a lenticular slipcover, a Halloween thing with dogs, whatever that is. Christmas with the Cranks, one of the worst Christmas movies I have ever seen. They're just like, and it's usually people that I like too. If you look at the cast of this movie, it's usually all people that I enjoy. They're just the most miserable, like, hate-filled people ever, though. It's a weird miss that should have, on paper, sounded great. Wonderland, 13 Going on 30. I actually kind of liked this one. This is one of those weird movies. I remember who I was with, but it wasn't that long after this came out. Probably around the same time the DVD came out. Whoever I was dating at the time made me watch this, like, at the end of high school, or like right after high school. And actually ended up kind of liking that one, surprisingly. It didn't, one of those weird ones. The Backyardigans, some Nick Jr., the Benny Goodman Story. This one was cool. The James Cagney Signature Collection. Bunch of Cagney movies on DVD. These signature collections are always really kind of cool. From Warner Brothers, The Bride came Captains of the Clouds, The Fighting 69th, Torrid Zone, and The West Point Story. And Broadway Melody, The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin, Volume 1, the cartoon of Teddy Ruxpin, is one of those things that Teddy Ruxpin, obviously, I always remember exactly what that is, and more picturing the teddy bear and the storybooks and things, and I always forget that there's an animated series until I see like a picture of it or a volume of it, and it's like, yeah, I actually vaguely remember that. It's one of those oddball things that for some reason just I never associate when I hear the name, the cartoon. I associate the bear and the stories and him talking and being all creepy. We have Ghost World, one of these Ultimate Cartoon Collections, a bunch of these. This one's a Brentwood Video. There are so many of these of all the public domain cartoons, and some are better than others. Quality-wise, it varies so much, like whatever their source is. But this is a huge collection and a bonus CD. So it's a DVD collection. It's actually a 2-disc, 4-side set, so double-sided discs, and then has a CD included of 51 favorite kids sing-along songs. Kind of odd, but interesting. And speaking of odd and interesting, with this fuzzy thing, we have Trolls Best Friends for Life, the movie, with a slipcover with some fuzzy troll hair. This is just bizarre looking. Like when I picture Trolls, like with the Z, like the brand, and like the little things, they just look weird. It's like, I don't know, very bizarre. Then we have from the Hanna-Barbera Kids Collection, The Smurfs, True Blue Friends, which has how many episodes on here? 1, 2, 5 episodes of Smurfs, Stigmata, and Turtle Odyssey, Bungie's Big Adventure, narrated by Russell Crowe. So that was it for the DVDs and Blu-rays. Let me pull those out of the way. And older VHS, to start the VHS off, I love finding older boxes. The 80s tapes they're heftier and they seem to hold up better than a lot of the later tapes, and I just like the design of a lot of the boxes. So we have a couple here from Warner Home Video, clamshell release of Up the Academy. Then we have a CBS Fox release of The African Queen. And you saw the DVD that I found there, but I don't know, there's something about this is so much more interesting to me, like the actual packaging, if you're going to have a copy sitting on the shelf. And it's one of those where I love that kind of drawer design, the slide out. I really like when they do that with Beta as well. So those are always fun. And then a whole bunch of just interesting VHS for the store. Anything that was kind of, especially with how cheap stuff was, anything I thought was kind of out there or was an easy thing to put up. Hulk Hogan, Mackenzie's Island. Never heard of this one. I was never a fan of wrestling, and I think I've seen 2 of the Hulk Hogan's like terrible movies, but never even heard of that one, so that was interesting. Then we have Death Before Dishonor. Interesting cover art here with a town called Hell. Whoa, I think I grew up there. And then we have Terminator 2, easy VHS pickup, weighs nothing, sells fast, even not for a lot. Mannequin. This is an 80s movie that Amanda actually turned me on to. She showed me this movie I just never had seen before, and it was a lot of fun. Mannequin. The second one was interesting, bizarre. I've never seen this exact cover design of Planet of the Apes. The first one on VHS. What year this was? 1990. But just interesting cover design. Never seen that exact design before. And then again, a lot of Christmas stuff, especially kind of weird things. We have Santa's Surprise, an animated Christmas classic. Casper's First Christmas. Mole's Christmas. We have The Easter Bunny is Coming to Town. Stop motion animated special. This is Fred Astaire. I have to check this one out. It's Rankin Bass and it's 77. And this is one that I just have vague memories of when I saw that cover. Whoopi Goldberg, Why Am I Straight? Never heard of this one. So, I'll have to check that out. From the RKO collection, I just love the way these look. Citizen Kane. I have a couple of those, especially some Cary Grant movies from the RKO collection. I just like that red band with the gold on the side. Those look really cool. Then, Christmas Vacation. Love this movie, Houseboat. I really like Cary Grant, and I really like Sophia Loren. They put them together, and it was just magic. I really enjoy this movie. It's one of my favorite kind of go-to fun movies. And speaking of the holidays and go-to fun movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Candy Claus, Kiwi Magic, a New Zealand adventure. Again, oddball stuff on old formats I love just pick up, and I have no clue what it is, but something about it just piques my interest. So it's a fun-filled, action-packed madcap adventure set among some of New Zealand's most spectacular scenery. Interesting. And then we have Isle of Lucy, the very first show. Lost for over 40 years. 1949, at the dawn of television, CBS offered film actress Lucille Ball her own television program. Though Lucy was excited by the new medium, she told CBS that she would only do it if her husband, Cuban bandleader Desi Arnaz, could be her co-star. CBS had more of an all-American couple in mind, and they flatly turned her down. What a different world we'd live in if that had not, if that had gone down that way. Not one to take no for an answer, Lucy raised $5,000 and together with Desi produced a pilot. So this is all that original pilot was definitely an interesting thing to watch. Tonally, it's a little different than when the show got rolling, and it's just kind of an interesting curiosity. So that's it for that stuff. Moving on. Some kids stuff, a bunch more books then as well. One manga, just randomly but in fantastic condition. Volume 1 of Boruto. That's Naruto's kid, I believe. Never read any of that. Some Magic Treehouse, a little bit of Goosebumps, and some Boxcar Children. A vintage Yogi Bear little golden book. This is cool. Yogi Bear and the Colorado River. That just looks like a lot of fun, and it's in fantastic condition, so that was a good thing to grab. One of my favorite Turtles books, we have this, and I've had this one since I was a kid. We have Ninja Turtles, The Magic Crystal. That was, I don't know why that one sticks out in my mind, but I just have always vividly remembered that one. And then we have The Return of the Jedi, the storybook. Vintage hardcover. Just fantastic to grab. Anything Star Wars, doesn't matter what it is, if it's slightly older, great. Then a bunch of books that are a little more for like the Pengo or something like that. Then a couple like sci-fi. We have The Crown, a hardcover book of that. Fallen, Red Queen. A selection of stories, The Prince and the Guard. Little Bee. Flight or Fright. The Bookwoman's Daughter. And The One, for that same series as The Crown. And we have Silence, a novel. Faith Hunter, Blood Cross. This is really good. A first edition paperback, I think it's the Signet edition, from 1965. You Only Live Twice, James Bond. So that's always, it's a lower, one of the earlier printings. It's always kind of a good, it's an easy, quick thing to sell. Then we have the prequel to hit novel Mars. We have Mars Plus, which is an early Bean science fiction. And this looks really interesting. I never heard of this, but it has a very 70s feel. I forget when was this published, but something about the artwork. 78. Okay, first printing. Daw science fiction. We have Jack Vance Whist, Alastor, 1716. Never heard of this one, but always pick up any of these kind of yellow gold spine Daw. Those are always good. And this was cool. A complete collection. I think from my recollection, complete collection. It was only 4. 2001, but Space Odyssey, Arthur C. Clarke, all hardcovers. 2001. 2010, 2061, and then the Final Odyssey. It's been a long time since I've read any of these. I think it was only those 4, but anyway, that was what was there. So grabbed all of those, and then a bunch of music finds, as well as randomly one vintage Power Ranger, the Gold Ranger, and this is that shiny metallic series. I remember having a bunch of these with the more, natural muted colors, and you had the flip head ones and these metallic ones. I remember seeing those. So that was the one random little toy find. And then for music, found a bunch of cassettes and CDs. The Mamas and the Papas. So anything really recognizable on cassette is an easy thing to grab. The Creedence Clearwater Revival, some Shania Twain, and a couple of Leanne Rimes that'll go good together, just a little lot. And then another stack of CDs, as well as a PC game collection on the bottom there. Then we have a whole other category to look at. We have James Murphy, Convergence, Shamrocks and Shenanigans, Boom, what the heck is that? It's Boom, Shalak, Lock, Boom. I have no idea what that is, but it definitely was one of those just instinctively, I'm like, it's worth picking up. Arthur Fiedler, Instrumental Favorites, Rollins, The Boxed Life, Spoken Word Performance, a 2-disc set. Some Michael Bublé, got us some Christmas, and then Michael Bublé. Ultimate Dance Party, 1998. That's a party that I would go to. Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. Space Tracks, featuring the theme from the Phantom Menace, the Starflight Orchestra. Vanessa Williams, Silver and Gold, Vanessa Williams Christmas music. Vast Visual Audio Sensory Theater. Vigilantes of Love. This I had for like a penny, or what I got today, like a fraction of a penny. I had to pick this up. I'm going to check it out and see if I like it or not. Otherwise it'll go on. From the Excelsior International Collection, we have the German Beer Garden Oktoberfest Song Collection. I will have to check that out. This, for obvious reasons, wish I had picked this up like a month ago. Sinead O'Connor, The Lion and the Cobra. And then this is pretty interesting for PC, the Zork Collection. If you know a lot of old PC games, especially if you're into RPGs, like old fantasy type things. That's kind of a name you will recognize, but the Zork collection, it's a legacy collection for Windows of all the Zork games. That's really cool. So all of that for under 30 bucks, and we're not done. There's actually a whole nother category and a huge pile next to me that's several feet high that, watch the next video. I'm going to do a whole video on this because it's just bizarre how much I found. It's really, really cool, and all just kind of belongs together, and that's included. I can't believe I literally filled my entire car for just a few bills. I couldn't believe it. Crazy. I'm surrounded by stuff. I'm going to move this out of the way and get working on the next thing. So if you want to see even more and something really, really fascinating, especially if you love old Hollywood, you like old movies, this is going to be something for you to check out in the next video.